Okay, so the last thing that we have is we just have kind of a quick one, and really this unit circle is good except for the fact that you have to memorize it for it to really be helpful on the ACT, which is why I showed you guys how to figure out each of these on your own. However, this is important for us to remember to help us with some special situations. So first, what exactly is going on with this unit circle? Well, we're going to look at some cases that we solved here previously. Sine pi over 6 gave us 1/2. Cosine pi over 4 gave us square root of 2 over 2. Sine of 150 degrees, and that gave us 1/2. And then we also have cosine of 2 pi over 3, which gave us a negative 1/2. So what I want to show you guys with this is how this unit circle works. Well, the unit circle is a circle centered at the origin, okay, meaning it's centered here at 0, 0, and it has a radius of 1. So each of these to the side is 1. Okay, now this unit circle is helpful because it can help to show you guys what each of these values are. So if we look at sine of pi over 6, we got that it was 1/2. So I'm going to find this 1 over 6, and I can see here that my y value for pi over 6 was 1/2. Cosine of pi over 4, cosine of pi over 4, okay, there's my pi over 4. I had 2 square roots of 2 there. Okay, if I go to the other side, sine of 150, so 150 degrees is right here. My sine of 150 was 1/2. Cosine of 2 pi over 3, you guys can see our cosine was negative 1/2. So the way that this chart here works is if you look at your x value of the location, your x value is the same as your cosine. Okay, so x value and cosine value are the same. Whereas if we look at our sine value, the sine value will match up with whatever your y value is. So your y value matches up with your sine. Okay, so say I wanted to come up with just a completely different one. Say I want to know, hey, what is sine of 7 pi over 6? Okay, well I can go to my chart here, my 7 pi over 6, my sine is going to be the y value, so that would be negative 1/2. Okay, now like I said, this is super helpful for the unit circle if you guys have this in front of you. And when you do some stuff in Trig with Mrs. Bowling, she will have the unit circle and you're allowed to use it. But on the ACT, you will not be given this, which is why I went over how to do it with a coordinate plane so that you guys can just figure these out on your own instead. Okay, now what this unit circle is useful for is these 4 special spots, okay, which is pi over 2 or 90 degrees, negative 1, 0 pi or 180 degrees, my 3 pi over 2 or my 270, as well as my 0, which could also be 360. Okay, so we're going to be using that unit circle for those special cases, and we need to remember that our x and y, cosine goes with your x's, and sine goes with your y's. Okay, so on the next page, I just threw a couple examples down there for us to work through here. We have sine of 90 degrees. So remember your unit circle. Okay, we've got our 4 points here on our unit circle. I am such a good circle drawer. Okay, where is 90 degrees at? Well, remember we start at 0 here, okay? And I'm going to rotate up 90 degrees. Rotate up from here. This is 90 degrees right here. What point is that at? Well, this point right here would be the point 0, 1. This is the point 0, 1. Okay? So this here for your sine of 90 degrees, okay, well that just equals 1. because your sine values coordinate with the y value of the point. So sine of 90 degrees is just 1. Okay? Instead of tangent pi over 2, okay, I don't want you guys to worry about tangent. We'll just worry about sine and cosine. Okay? Let's do what is our cosine of 2 pi. Okay? What is the cosine of 2 pi? Well, the first thing that you need to do is we need to remember what 2 pi is. Okay, so 2 pi over 1, convert that to degrees. Pi's cancel. 2 times 180, that is 360 degrees. So cosine of 2 pi is just cosine of 360 degrees. So where is 360 degrees at? Well, remember, we start here. It is a full rotation. So after we fully rotate, we're back here. What point is that? Well, that point would be at 1, 0. Okay? Cosine corresponds to your x value. So our x value would be a 1. So the cosine of 360 degrees is 1. Or the cosine of 2 pi is 1. Okay? Now, when you involve tangent, and like I said, you don't need to know this on your test. So with the tangents of these, if you're trying to find them, again, like I could do what is cosine of pi. Well, pi is the same as cosine of 180 degrees. Okay, so that would be this point over here, negative 1, 0. Cosine is your x's, so your answer for that would be negative 1. The cosine and sines in these cases are either 0 and 1, or it could be a negative 1, depending on the location. When you talk about tangents, you have to use the property that tangent theta is the same as sine theta over cosine theta. And if you're interested in figuring that out for these special cases, I know some of you are not, and that's perfectly fine. If you are interested on how to find tangent for these special cases, just let me know when we get back to class, and I can explain that to you. All right, and that is it for Lecture 9-3, Part 1.